Alright, this is a good song, so I don't want to interrupt it too much, but I want to do a little bit of review of the different versions of Circaevum that I've iterated on. But what's frustrating is, like, I don't know why, Apple doesn't retain like old versions of apps, even though, I don't know. Anyways, so all these don't work, but I've got two up that do, and the third one, yeah. So Circaevum 0.4.07 and then 0.4.08. The other one. I gotta work on the graphics of that. I know. Okay, anyways, so well, we'll start here. What I've got is, let's see, let's go back up. So, this is 2025. I can go back to different months and then load in the times where I have nice Google Calendar event population. So like, hey, back in June, I did this crypto pop-up village. Pop-up city, whatever you want to call it. I want to do a pop-up village where we're installing microgrids. Okay, anyways. So yeah, daily events, stuff like that from Google Calendar. Memory system. So what I've been trying to do is build this backend down here, kind of like underneath the system, to show the database itself. Like when you connect a user, this space station is kind of like a memory palace for the database. So when you connect a user, you figure out the device, the user. They have two CSV files associated with them, right? So think of that as a little spacecraft. Then you got your main station. There's a cube that's missing here. It's the central like hub station, and that's all the data that's in the Circaevum storage system. And then there's like, hey, in the storage system we have a key to your Google stuff, like an OAuth token that you gave us because we wanted to connect to the Google stuff. And then there can be two pathways for managing that. You either just export and save somewhere else, or separately, well, there's three kind of, you can do both, but the second one is just that this is just a graphics engine for that data. So no need to store it twice, right? Just, you know, like keep it there, and this is just showing that it's creating graphics for it. Really nice. These kind of graphics. And then you can dive through events, go into it, make long-term plans that are like, semester, here's all my classes, here's all my weeks, and stuff like that. And so, and then like over here would be your heart rate stuff, all that. And I'm gonna play with the orientation of this a lot, so bear with me. But keeping that mostly consistent. Now I'll show the upgrades of the latest version. Well, I'm gonna close it so that I can force quit, so that I can open it up from the beginning. I'll walk you through it. So, yep, this is Circaevum 0.4.08. So that was Q3 that I was working on this, of 25. You kind of, like, before the system, you have your linked users, like, you know, login screen. And usually, if there's several accounts, those will all be logged in. I configured mine to say, yes, log in when I press this button. And so when I press that button, it logs me in with my password and that kind of stuff. Alright, now, where to go from here? So you want to load your data from Nakama. That's that centralized node down the middle that's not showing up. Then that's, you know, we're showing a lot of events that are kind of in this. I need to change the lighting of like how transparent they are based on where this slider is. And those rendering settings just got, like, you know, put on hold because of trying to figure out the other, like, just the ordering of the database. Anyways, so then you load in Google Calendar data, you get more colored events. I'm going to update it so the color persists into Nakama, but right now it doesn't. And then let's see if the Garmin data is going to do it. And sometimes you can only see the Garmin data on the back side of it based off of how the rendering... Oof, yeah, okay, so now we're on the back. I gotta be careful because I don't want to lose this video, but so far, to my understanding, it works. One, those sprites are supposed to be colorized. That's representing heart rate data, but they're not visible in the direction of the camera, and so I just need to change the shader settings, maybe make them double-sided. And of course they're white here, they should be colorized. I had a pretty cool version of that worked when you like play on device or something, but when I built it to it, it showed the other, what you're not seeing here. So I'm gonna see, okay, that makes it light again. I turn that layer off. So yes, I do have the ability to turn off layers. Or do I? Sometimes you just shift to a different month for it to redetermine what it is supposed to load. So more coding stuff I need to fix. And lighting on the data, but enough on that. So this will get into the updates of the system. So the idea now is that instead of all these logs just always on the walls, which that's how, this is my log system, just so I can see like what errors are happening. I'm gonna associate them more with each of these actual things. So before here, you look across it, there's no interactivity, it's just interacting with this. So I hid that when you switch to your log system, and then I still can't click on things here. So what I did here is now you can click on a building, it'll react a room, and then the next step is to have the console logs so that they're all respective of like the API system for retrieving emails from Google, and then what the schema of that looks like, and the history of requests you've made from that, and a lot of like analytics on that in a room just for that particular service that you authenticate. That's a very unique service. So you could do something separate for, you know, like that email, events, like add photos. So you can have those separate data classifications and rules figured out, rather than just saying like, yeah, do all the Google stuff. And then the main purpose of this app is to give you more agency over your data. So it's saying, hey, here's a central system that can be offline or online, which I don't know where the room is. It keeps disappearing, so something I didn't change it. I just gotta keep iterating on that. And then Garmin stuff over here, so yeah, I've got to work on the things that I think there's one of these that I had already started working on, the log positioning and like basically just loading up the module of that pod. And so that's something that I'm working on. Of course, I also broke some things again somehow too. So like how this, you know, selects between your regular visual of the system and like then you can toggle back to the log system. So somehow in adding the functionality to these, I disabled the ability to go back to the regular scene. Also, if you noticed, well, where are the events? Over here. They should be long-term events. Oh. There they are. I broke some of that too. Some of these labeling systems, all that, were missing from this version. You can rewind to, I guess, check me on that. So switching back to the visual system is disabled. When we were at the visual system, I broke some of these things. I added the functionality. I broke new stuff. I did some new stuff. Okay, we're gonna keep working on it. All right. This is Circaevum update. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this, but here it is.